Hello.
Okay. So yes, this is Kerbal Space Program.
Really?
Yes, really.
I suppose.
So I'll just get started anyway. We're going to make a spaceship basically in the vehicle assembly building.
Yep.
Got the spaceman hangar, the vehicle assembly building,
Right.
the tracking station, and the launch pad. Can't really go there yet.
So you can't do anything with those buildings?
Not at the moment, because I haven't built anything to do anything with them.
Right.
So I'll start with a standard command pod. You've got all these to choose from, but most of them are only really for space planes. This is the standard original pod. Fits 3 little green men in. Kerbals.
Okay. Gerbils.
Kerbals. Not gerbils. And you gotta give yourself some space because your rocket has to go underneath here. Okay. So, after that little interruption, so there's tabs along here, the different types of objects you can put in. Propulsion, command and control, structural and aerodynamic, utility and scientific decals, which there are none yet, and crew, which there are none yet because your crew is automatically selected.
Right.
It'll be added in later though. The most important thing is to basically create your rocket as is. So you start with a fuel tank. This is the most important, and you put in your engines. But for starters,
Yes.
what?
Nothing, I'm just wondering because I'm not a rocket scientist or an engineer, so how do you go about building a rocket if you don't know how?
Well, it's simple. It's surprisingly simple.
Fair enough. Seems simple enough. I mean, you got the thingy thing on the bottom that blows, and the shaft, and the thing on the top.
Most important thing,
Is the crew.
no. The crew's already in there. It's sealed in tight. You gotta have a parachute.
Okay.
It saves them from there. For an unfortunate incident that they probably will encounter at some point. And so these are decouplers. They allow you to separate parts of the ship. These also allow decouplers as well, just in time.
What do you mean separate the ship?
So basically you can press space while your ship is going, and it'll change the stage of the ship at the time. So you can create a multiple stage ship. So you fire something at the bottom, and it'll fire for a certain time, then it'll run out of fuel, and then you can detach it with the decoupler.
Okay.
So we'll put one here to separate the command pod, and we'll continue with the rest of the rocket. It's important to put an SAS module into your ship. It keeps it stable and allows you to use the SAS itself, which basically kind of keeps it stable and level and allows more control over it when you want to turn and etc.
Right.
So we'll put that in, but actually, do I want that there? Been a little bit before I've done that. Anyway, we also need RCS. RCS is the little jets that kind of propel air out while you're in space.
Right.
And it allows you to basically just kind of propel yourself in certain directions. And here are the RCS thrusters. And we'll want 4 of those. Symmetrical. That's the symmetry button. Allows you to create things symmetrically around your ship. That's way too many, but
yeah,
we'll do that.
Okay.
And they've got to be, those ones specifically have to be connected directly to a RCS fuel tank. But some of the others, like these, which are like little dots, do not have to be. They kind of get routed throughout the ship, and as long as you have it on connected to the part.
But what are those?
These are also thrusters.
Right.
So they like only go one way. So you've got to have one on each side to be able to use the full thrusting spectrum. So going like that way and that way and that way and that way and up and down and stuff.
Left, right.
Yep.
Etc.
In 3D space.
Yes.
Okay, so I forgot to tell you about these. These are SAS modules. They stabilize the ship more. The more you have of them, the more it stabilizes. But they're heavy. Their main thing is that they're heavy, so you have to kind of. It's important to have only a few.
What? So weight is taken into account?
Yeah, weight is taken into account.
Is there any way to look at your overall weight?
No, it's not necessarily about your overall weight, although that comes into effect when you need to get off the launch pad and move your ship about. But the most important thing is symmetrical weight and the weight at the top of your ship compared to the bottom. If you have a heavy top, then your ship's going to sway on the launch pad, and it's also going to have trouble in the upper atmosphere getting...
So there's no way to test or be able to get feedback for your current weight distribution throughout the development process. The only way to test it is on the launch pad. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes, that's the way.
Is that why I've seen so many fiery crashing deaths on the launch pad?
Yes,
okay.
It's completely... Well, it's guesswork, but yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm sure they'll add something later on, but for now,
I would hope so.
Getting the basics in still. So these are the standard fuel tanks. They introduced these ones. These are made for space planes. They have much less fuel in them, but these have more fuel. They're obviously heavier as a result. More than, just a little bit more than double the size of these ones. So, actually, they have more temperature tolerance and way more impact tolerance. That's interesting. So I'll add a few of these to our rocket ship. The second last stage. Create a little tower, and we will, actually I don't need to do that yet. These are the engines, basically from big to small. However, this is is this one? Yeah, this and this have gimbaling, which means that they can control the direction of the ship and kind of swivel around at the bottom.
Right.
Whereas this one is fixed in place, but it's much more powerful.
Right.
So it's best to have this one in the middle, I think, if you're going to do that. But for now, this is kind of the middle section as it is that we're going to have. I normally don't use solid fuel boosters because they tend to cause more problems than they fix. But they have way more thrust than any of these.
Right.
Actually, no, they don't. This one and this one both have more thrust, but these, I think they're lighter, are they? Yeah, they're slightly lighter, and because of that, they're able to kind of add to the thrust in the early stages to get your ship up. But as they are now, they're a little bit tricky to kind of get working safely and, in a good way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some radial decouplers, and we're going to make the ship a lot bigger. We'll just get that in there, and shove some more fuel tanks on. This is still a little glitchy because you can kind of put them on the edges and things.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite look right, but it's pretty easy if you kind of look through the object because it's, transparent. Yeah, semi-transparent, so you can see where you've got it bang on. And then you can add more.
But can you edit the placement afterwards?
Yeah, sorry. You can grab them off and individually as well if you turn off the symmetrical
Okay.
symmetry. Sorry, I'm just gonna get that back on. I'm not gonna worry too much about getting these aligned because you can't really, and these will sit lower than the other one anyway. This is a nice solid rocket as it is, but we'll add a bit more to it anyway. So I'm gonna put some more thrusters here, and the bottom one actually sits lower than them, which is not good. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna put the big ones down there, and I'll put a gimbally one in the middle. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so we've got a simple rocket. It's not very stable. I mean, these hold it on, but they'll kind of fall off pretty easily and wobble around if we're not careful. So we'll put some strengthening into it with these strut connectors, and basically it's just like they're kind of like little ties that you can tie your ship parts together with, but they're also slightly elastic, so they will flex or allow a little bit of flex, because otherwise that would be awful. There we go, that's a bit better. But we might want some between these two as well.
So they're just supports, really.
Yeah. 'Cause otherwise these would just kind of fly around all around the outside. There are plenty of videos on YouTube for that kind of thing. So yeah, that's very strong. It's very strong and sturdy. So what I might do is I might make the rocket a little bit bigger. Oh. By adding some more decouplers down here. Probably here actually. Put some more on here. It's gonna be a bit big, but it'll be fine. Just gotta line them up a bit better. Where do they stop? They stop there. Okay. Are there any questions at the moment?
None.
That's good. And we just got to tie these together again.
I'm sure there's plenty, but not a rocket scientist.
Don't need to be.
I think you do.
Just need to be interested. Okay, so that's good. I could probably put some connectors there, but it'll be fine for now. And just for some stabilization, we'll put some winglets on.
Winglets?
Yep. Winglets. Is this the... No, this... Standard canard? No. Oh wait, yes it is. Winglet. These will basically control the shuttle while it's in the air.
I don't believe you. I've seen plenty of videos where they just flap around like useless bits
They
of
do
tin.
flap around, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
They'll tear off, puncture the fuel cell, and explode everything.
Oh, okay. Sure thing. But they won't, so it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So is this supposed to be a simulator or
Not really.
roller coaster tycoon style?
I mean, it is, but it's not really a simulator of kind of Earth space
yeah.
technology, because it's not enough for that. Do these... See, some of these...
So it's all made
do-
up or based upon.
All the mass and the space distances and everything like that are made up, yes.
Okay.
And obviously all these parts are made up as well.
Right.
They're based on roughly those kind of things, but yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them like this. And we're going to go to the right hand side of the screen.
It's pretty disgusting looking.
It is. But, ooh, that won't be, actually. I'll put some SAS modules on top just for stability. Anyway, on the right hand side you have the staging. Basically numbers 0 through to whatever are your stages. And the bottom stage is the first stage to ignite. So we'll create... Okay, so in the bottom stage we've got the outer... It's already put them automatically in the outer ring. And that's what we want. But we also want these middle ones in here to go off as well. And then...
What?
Yep.
No, I don't understand what any of this staging crap is.
Okay, so... Staging is...
Let's start at the start. 1.
Okay, so
Ah.
when you put your rocket on the launch pad
Yep.
and you start it up, you start up your rocket.
Yep.
That's the first stage. That's this along here.
But that's 6.
That's 6. It's reversed. It's reversed all the way to the bottom stage,
Oh, for
which is the
fuck's
parachute going on.
Yep, fair enough.
So we start on stage 6, so we want all of these to go off.
Right.
And then we want these, we want to be able to disconnect these outer ones, because they'll run out of fuel first. So once they run out of fuel, we'll disconnect them. I'm going to put a winglet on these, because the ship will probably go out of control if I don't, after it's released. It'll be fine. Yeah, we want to separate those, and then they'll be kind of going for a while. And then here we have these inner separators, and they'll be going off next once all of these run out of fuel. All of those and everything run out of fuel. And then we'll start up this rocket down the bottom, which will be a small rocket, but hopefully, in theory, we should be able to get into orbit with this.
Okay.
If it's accurate enough.
So how do you know how much fuel they have?
You don't know in total how much fuel they have. You kind of have to, guess and...
Okay,
well,
so it's actually a fuel tank.
And yeah, they're all fuel tanks.
Okay.
Well, the entire thing is basically made up of fuel tanks.
Right.
You can now make structural fuselages which don't actually contain any fuel, but considering the amount of fuel that you need in this game, most people don't use them. So I think we're good with that. I think it'd be fine. So we'll save it. Have you got a name for this lovely craft?
Shegasm.
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 And now how is that spelt?
She.
She.
G.
G.
Asm.
Asm. Okay. Shegasm.
Shouldn't there be an I in there?
No. What?
No.
What?
Okay.
How do you spell she?
What?
Shegasm 1.
Sure.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Save
what?
that. Just in case everything goes very poorly. So save that and we'll launch. And we'll automatically get teleported to the launch pad, yes. That's what it is. Launch pad. So that actually looks pretty small on the launch pad, but and kind of stubby, but it'll be fine. So I'm going to switch over
stubby.
to the gamepad for this, because otherwise there'll be a lot of clicking and it'll be very loud. So on the left hand side you can still see the staging, and you'll see that throughout the flight.
Can you change that on the fly?
Supposedly you can now, but I mean you can move them up and stuff, but I haven't been successful in doing that, so I'm not entirely sure whether it's whether it's supported.
Bill, Bob, and Jebediah.
Yep, they'll be fine. It'll be fine. So you've got your throttle, and you've got your position. It's kind of looking in the direction you're going in relation to where you are.
Yep,
On the
you
planet.
lost me. Sounds like a work it out on the fly kind of thing.
pretty much. Okay, so this is your distance from the surface.
Sure.
That's the SAS, and the RCS, you get to turn them on, toggle them on and off.
RCS.
Yep. And if I have my
No, I mean
buttons
explain
right,
it.
what?
What's RCS?
Okay, RCS is the little thrusters here.
Ah.
Also, when you have an advanced SAS, they will be used by it to keep the ship steady,
Okay.
basically.
Alright.
So if you want it to be stabilized properly, you put the SAS and RCS on, but
Mhm.
it has fuel, and the fuel can run out pretty quickly. So that just shows you whether they're on or not. G-forces, they don't matter at the moment, not really.
Okay.
And yeah, so I'll just throttle up. Is there
So
anything
the
else I'm
G-force
missing?
won't kill them.
No, not yet.
Their heads won't explode.
No. And they wouldn't anyway.
Well, that's no fun.
So it's... And that's your time. And you can control the warp speed.
Warp.
As in how fast
Warp
you want
factor.
time to progress. Because it can get pretty boring
Yeah.
waiting to go there.
Mm.
That's your vertical speed. It means how fast you're going up and or down towards the surface.
Mhm.
And that's the altitude. And the atmosphere that you're at to show whether you've gotten into space or not.
Okay.
And that's just your staging, what stage you're on, whether it's ready. Your pitch and roll and yaw, it's not really that important, but as you can see, I'm controlling it here, which it's
Wiggle,
flimsy,
wiggle.
but it'll be fine.
I'm sure.
And if I go to the map, you can see us. We're on Kerbal, which is the Kerbin. I think it's either Kerbal or Kerbin. I keep forgetting. And
Kerbin.
What?
Kerbin.
Sure. Does it say it?
No, I just know.
Okay. Yeah, Kerbin. And yeah, you can control your
Yeah.
ship in this view as well, if you so wish. And out here,
Sort of looks like Africa. Fair enough.
and out here you've got the moon.
The Mun.
Mun, yeah, sure. Which is what would be ultimately good to get to. And out here, Minimus, which is a moon on a very odd axis. Which is... I've never gotten there, but maybe we can. Not with this ship though, I don't think. Not with this ship.
Okay.
And you can click on these, right click on them, and do things like disable the flow. And to turn...
Why would I want to do that? Just in
I'm
case.
sure there's some situations where you'd want it to,
Fair enough.
but for now it's not. Yeah. that important.
Functional.
So we're taking a long time. So I'll turn on the SAS,
Let's go.
which is still a bit jittery and stuff. For now.
Um.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
So we're just wanting to go into. Shouldn't we be working out our trajectory?
Okay, so
At the moment.
there's pretty easy way of... I'll just turn this off. There's a pretty easy way of getting to the moon or getting into orbit. And I'll kind of explain it as I go, but basically we want to go up and keep going up until we're fairly in the atmosphere, and then we want to slowly turn to the right here on the 90-degree axis.
Right.
Until I can't show you, but basically on this side down here there is kind of...
To the moon.
It'll be the edge between facing the sky up here and facing the ground, and that'll be us going kind of along the planet,
Right.
and at a certain point we'll achieve orbit if
Right.
it works.
Right.
So we'll start the
To infinity.
ship, first stage.